Three-punch combination. Goes back to it again. Oh! Big-time shot to the body by Inoue. It's over.
6, 7. Imagine being the best boxer in your country's history at only 30 years old. That's Japanese boxing phenom Naoya Inoue for you. Why is he so special? Reason number 1, he's fast. Reason number 2, he's vicious. Naoya Inoue isn't just Japan's finest boxer. He's a living legend, continuously adding new chapters to his illustrious career. And this is his incredible story. Born and raised in Kanagawa, Japan, Naoya Inoue wanted to be a footballer when he was in kindergarten. But his life took a 180-degree turn when he discovered boxing at 5 years old. Even at a young age, Inoue possessed all the qualities of a boxing magician. He had strong basics, impressive strength in a tiny frame, blazing speed, a supremely high fight IQ, and an almost instinctive ability to land precise punches at the right moment. These qualities are exceptionally rare, and to find them all in one fighter, especially in someone as young and inexperienced as Inoue was at the time, is quite extraordinary. Trained by his father as a young boxer, Inoue started his journey at only 5 years old, with his old man Shingo Inoue hoping to live his own boxing dream through his son. Shingo loved boxing and even competed in a couple of amateur bouts, but he could never pursue it full-time due to family commitments. So when he found out about his young son's profound love for boxing, he put his heart and soul into training him to be the next big thing in the sport. Inoue first conquered the amateurs, winning 75 times with 6 losses and bagging numerous medals, most notably a silver at the Asian Youth Championship in 2010. In 2012, the Japanese star turned pro. Omar Narvaez. After kick-starting his professional boxing career with 7 victories, including a WBC light flyweight title win and a defense, Naoya Inoue produced a scintillating performance against Omar Narvaez in their WBO junior bantamweight title fight. Narvaez was Inoue's toughest test up until that point, and the monster passed it with flying colors. Inoue started the fight in typical fashion, being the aggressor, controlling the range and landing punches in bunches. 18 seconds in, he landed a stinging punch to Narvaez's breadbasket. A few seconds later, Inoue dropped Narvaez with a huge overhand right. Inoue continued to push Narvaez and landed sneaky combinations as soon as he tried to get up. Near the end of the first minute, Inoue earned another knockdown. From there on, Inoue broke Narvaez down with relentless pressure. After beating Narvaez to a pulp, the Japanese star finished the job late in the second round with a 4-punch combo. For the next 4 years, Inoue ruled as the junior bantamweight champion with an iron fist, earning a string of supremely impressive stoppage wins. Against Bechbarn-born Kokujin, against Kohei Kono, against Ricardo Rodriguez, and against Yoan Boyo. After dominating as the WBO junior bantamweight champ, Inoue battled Englishman Jamie McDonnell for the WBA bantamweight title. McDonnell was undefeated for nearly 10 years when he faced the Japanese star, which is why he was tipped to give the pound-for-pound sensation a run for his money. That wasn't the case at all. The fight started, and Inoue pushed the pace in his trademark fashion. 40 seconds in, he blitzed McDonnell with a flurry of punches. Inoue rocked McDonnell with a left hook in the second minute. A few seconds later, Inoue dropped the Englishman with another left hook. As soon as McDonnell returned to his feet, Inoue swarmed him with a barrage of punches that put an end to his misery. McDonnell had no answer to Inoue's pace, pressure, and explosive power. A few months after butchering Jamie McDonnell and winning the WBA bantamweight title, Inoue put it on the line against Juan Carlos Payano in the quarterfinal of the World Boxing Super Series. Inoue patiently waited for his opportunity to pounce, while Juan Carlos Payano landed his shots. At the minute mark, Inoue finally let his hands go, and boom! Payano was out cold. And if that's not entertaining enough, well, wait till you see the next one. In the semifinal of the World Boxing Super Series, Inoue faced Emmanuel Rodriguez for the IBF and vacant The Ring bantamweight titles. Emmanuel Rodriguez had a great start to the fight as he landed some nice shots in the first minute. From the second minute on, Inoue upped the ante and picked his opponent apart with shots to the head and body. In the second round, Inoue came out strong. After a minute of fiery exchanges, Inoue dropped Rodriguez with a left hook. Rodriguez survived the 10 count, but was dropped again as soon as he got up. Signed, sealed, and delivered. In the final of the World Boxing Super Series, Inoue added the WBA Super Bantamweight title to his collection before successfully defending his belts in a sparkling display of high-level boxing against Australia's Jason Maloney. The first 2 rounds of the fight were even, with both men exchanging great shots. Inoue turned on the heat from the 3rd round on and landed punches that came in all shapes and sizes. Inoue controlled the distance and tempo like a true master of the sweet science. Maloney boxed well at times, but couldn't match Inoue's speed and power. The onslaught continued and Maloney's chin was cracked like an egg late in the 6th round. Maloney beat the 10 count, survived the round, but he found himself in a similar situation in the 7th. A lightning-fast short right hand proved fatal. Maloney tried to get up, but his senses were all over the place, forcing the referee to wave the fight off. Following 2 more title defenses, Inoue faced his old foe, Nonito Donaire, in a clash of titans in a bantamweight unification bout in June 2022. Since the first fight between the two was a classic, fans were expecting another cracking showdown. But hometown hero Inoue fed off the crowd's energy and treated Donaire like a glorified punching bag. Inoue started his onslaught with a sharp left hook. He followed it up with a few jabs to keep a forward-pressing Donaire at bay. Inoue jabbed and dodged in a fashion like he was a real-life version of Goku. Donaire was chasing shadows all night as Inoue ran circles around him. Inoue rocked Donaire 10 seconds before the end of the 1st round with a big 1-2. He went for the kill, dropping his foe with a sharp right hand. Donaire managed to beat the 10 count again and was saved from further damage by the bell. The exchanges intensified in the 2nd round as Inoue came out smelling blood and looking for a finish. Inoue refused to take his foot off the gas. A sharp left hook to the temple put Donaire on roller skates. For the next 10 seconds, Donaire was essentially a human punching bag, who never recovered after getting knocked down a 2nd time in the fight. In his next fight, Inoue made history. The undisputed bantamweight championship fight between Inoue and Paul Butler took place in the Lion's Den, as the babyface British boxer took his fiery counterpart head-on in his backyard in Tokyo, Japan. With an entire nation behind him, Inoue was never gonna lose. In the opening round, Butler wisely circled the ring to try and frustrate Inoue, but the Japanese star still managed to cut off the ring and land some nice shots. The tiny boxing sensation made the ring smaller for Butler and continued to punish him with perfectly timed combos. The two continued to play cat and mouse for the next few rounds, with Inoue using his cat-like reflexes to pounce on his prey at every opportunity. The Englishman had his best moment in the 6th round when he connected with a couple of stinging shots. Inoue was unfazed and continued his onslaught until late in the 11th round, when he flattened his opponent with a flurry of power shots upstairs.
By hitting the accelerator and putting on a show.
With the WBO title in his collection, Naoya Inoue made history that night by becoming the first undisputed bantamweight champion in 50 years. However, the best was yet to come.
6, 7, 8.
It's over.
In July 2023, Inoue faced his toughest test to date, at least on paper, in the shape of the best 122-pound boxer in the world, Stephen Fulton. Much like Inoue's past opponents, Fulton was also a betting underdog, but not a sizable one. The fight was expected to be a highly entertaining back-and-forth war, but Inoue had other plans. Inoue took control of the fight immediately with his blur of a jab and power punches that made Fulton uneasy about engaging with him. For 2 rounds, Inoue was the hammer and Fulton was the nail. The American started to find his footing in round 3. but he was still reluctant to trade shots with Inoue due to the fear of razor-sharp counters. Fulton's reluctance to engage allowed Inoue to dance around him and pick him apart like he was in a sparring session. Then, disaster struck for the American in the 8th round. Inoue rattled him with a straight right to the chin and followed with a short left that put Fulton flat on his back as the crowd at Ariake Arena in Tokyo roared. Fulton managed to beat the 10 count, but failed to avoid the onslaught. Inoue pressed Fulton against the ropes and beat him like a punching bag to keep his perfect record intact and ruin that of his previously undefeated opponent. The Japanese fighter became a 4-division champion that night. Following the fight, Naoya Inoue claimed that he was the best in the world, and with performances like the ones we saw earlier, it's hard to argue with him. Inoue is a master technician of the sweet science of boxing, and he'll go down as one of the best in history when all is said and done. Where do you rank Naoya Inoue among the greatest boxers of all time? Surely somewhere at the top.